Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming here this evening and attending this Zoom meeting. So the question is, do you all agree, first of all, that something had to be done in order to manage the social distancing needed for the management of COVID in general? We'll start up with Shapur. If you'd like to introduce yourself and comment on that, please.
Hello, my name is Shapur Mefta. I'm the chair for Millroad Traders Association, and I'll put my name down to become I'm a candidate for the Rome Petersfield for City Council and County Council. In response to your question, yes, definitely something had to be done for social distancing and everything else. The way the local authority went to find out what they can do, I think it was a bit out of proportion. Closing this road, closing this bridge, closing that, everything, it was just not right. If you're trying to protect people, you're not going to close the roads because you're saying it's safer for people to walk, not drive. Majority of people, they wanted to drive because they wanted to be safe in their car, to park somewhere close as possible to destination, get out of the car, collect, and jump back in again. And by closing the roads or bridges or whatever it is, that was right out of proportion.
And then Pam?
Hi, I'm Pam Wesson from Fantasia, formerly of Mill Road, now Rose Crescent. And I'm the vice chair of Mill Road Traders. And yes, something could have been done, but it would have been more logical, for example, to enforce face masks and also to enforce going up one way and back the other way across the bridge and allow cars to go. But neither of those things apparently is very enforceable. There are signs saying go across the bridge one way and nobody does it. The whole world is talking about masks. Maybe we're lucky if half of us do it. So yes, something needed to be done, but it certainly wasn't closing the bridge. That's just completely beside the point.
Hi, my name is Piero. I'm the Millroad Traders ambassador. I've been working in Millroad for over 21 years, living in Romsey for 32 years. I think I know the street pretty well because I work and live on the street, on this street for almost all my life, I would say. Yeah, this I agree most of what Shapur said or Pam said about we have to do something to for the climate change. We have to do something for the distancing, etc. But the way they done it, the authority, the way they done it, it was absolutely ridiculous because Cambridge does not only have a Mill Road bridge. It's got many bridges. Why they haven't closed the other bridges, like Hills Road, for an example? But it was too obvious. It was an attack to the community of Mill Road.
Thank you. Mohammed?
Hi, my name is Mohammed Azmuddin. I'm one of the members for the traders on Mill Road, and I'm the candidate for Conservative for Romsey. I agree with all the members that this has been a disaster from the local council regarding in the COVID. There was no proper plan in place. The bridge was closed. That's the biggest mistake. They've done it. There was no plan how they're going to, what the solution will be, and how they're going to help the residents, how they're going to help the businesses. And I was literally shocked. We was thinking they will come ahead and come with a plan when they see everything going out of the way, but nothing has been done.
My name is Abdul Rain. I'm the treasurer of Mill Road Traders. Been trading on Mill Road for more than a quarter of a century. Live in this area for about 40 years. COVID is real, and dealing with it is real. However, it's important that we deal with it in a manner which, one, is effective, and two, carries the people who are going to be affected with them. In this case, it seems like all the low-hanging fruit, Pam's already mentioned it, wearing masks, making sure enforcing one direction of travel were completely avoided, and a sledgehammer brought in to crack a nut. So effectively the bridges were closed. But if we were to look at the distancing on Victoria Road or other bridges or roads in Cambridge, we found that they have a similar dynamic to Mill Road. However, Mill Road was enforced, although Mill Road has a linking community, which is now divided by the closure of the bridge. So I actually think that the county councillors reacted without thought.
Right, Paul?
I'm not sure what more I can add, but totally agree with what everybody has said so far. There has been, oh look, my camera suddenly decided to work. But yeah, like Abdul just mentioned, there are other roads in Cambridge which are very similar. Regent Street, for instance, it's full of shops. The pavements are just the same as width-wise. No bollards down that road. There's Cheston High Street. There's other roads which have not been taken into account. They just seem to picked on Mill Road and just came through with a bulldozer and just closed it with no consultation. So I agree with what everybody's been saying.
I mean, it was the county council's decision, but what do people think about the connection with the city council? Because we saw Dave Bajan, city councillor, saying that it wasn't their decision at all, and it was the county council. So has anyone got any opinion on that?
Although it might be a it might be a county council decision, there's something called leveraging. In this case, I think leveraging was an important part.
Explain leveraging.
When the city councillors or the local councillors actually try and enforce their opinion on others who may not be aware of the reality on the ground. In this case, a lot of the county councillors don't really know Mill Road, but the local councillors empowered their views on those of the county councillors, and therefore formed a mindset.
Was the Traders Association consulted by the county councillors about possible changes that might have to occur?
From my information was the government allocated some money to make for greens and make the better life and make sure that this COVID is not going to do much damage to people or whatever. So the money which was allocated to the county council, and they were supposed to implement whatever they can do to make it easier, safer, and greener. According to my information, Mill Road Bridge wasn't part of it at all, because they said it doesn't need to be touched, it can continue as it is, whatever. But there were some local authorities which they live in Romsey and Petersfield. They decided that no, this is not right. Bridge has to be safe for people to walk up and down. So they enforced their power to get this project on top of the list of what the county council officers had. So the Mill Road Bridge wasn't part of the first phase at all. So there were no mention of the bridge at all in the first. If you check it, there are enough evidence there that there was no mention of it at all. So because of the influence they had on the county council, they managed to push this project on top of the list. And that's why we had all the problem with the implementation, which was no signs available. They didn't know what's happening. They put this here, they put that. Everything was in a mess because it wasn't planned for bridge at all. There was no plan at all. And they keep blaming each other. But the problem was started locally from Romsey and Petersfield by the people who were in charge of the county. I'm not going to mention names, I'm not going to mention any parties, but the thing is, started from local, and it went to the county. Otherwise, we would have been in a better position, a better lifestyle, and everything. We are not going to even suffer. And that is what I wanted to say. Now, Abdul, I'll pass it to you to finish the next part, because I just want to give a bit of background.
As far as the consultation on measures to deal with COVID are concerned, we had an email, not from the county councillors, but from David Badgett, who then asked, I think maybe Linda was also copied into it, so I would say it is a team effort there, about what we thought could be done to make things safer on Mill Road. There was no mention of closing of the bridge or anything like that. All there was whether did you have any recommendation? And we pointed out three things. Number one, the state of the road and the potholes which needed to be dealt with, because what he was doing was he was endangering cyclists while they were trying to navigate through the road. Number two, cars being parked on the pavement, so therefore pedestrians were being forced to come together instead of safe distancing. So these were the kind of points that we raised with them. However, what we discovered afterwards, we said, oh, we consulted with the traders, but the consultation was about A and not about B, which was whether the bridge should be closed or what the effects of closing the bridge. So therefore, I would say we were not consulted as far as the bridge is concerned. However, the consultation was about what could be done to make it safer to navigate along Mill Road as a cyclist, as a motorist, or as a pedestrian, which we answered and we wrote back to them on.
Does anyone want to talk about the understanding that things could be adjusted after the 6 months, and that when the 6 months were up and people put in their comments, how that seems to have been messed up?
Well, we had the opportunity to, to make a comment after 6 months, and we missed the deadline because we were fighting for the first 6 months, trying to understand which is which, because most of the councillors, the local, as a local authority, they completely turned their back to us, and so we didn't know what to do, where to go, who to ask, or whatsoever. When we realized we had the chance to reopen the bridge after 6 months, it was already too late. So the second chance was in September, when Mill Road traders decided to override our local authority, and we dealt directly with the county. So we had an open meeting with all the county members of including from Ian Bates and the vice chair and all the officers on the Donkey Commons, and we had the opportunity also to record the video. I mean the meeting. And one of the questions was, we asked Ian Bates, why you doing this to Mill Road? Why this? Why that? And he said that we were communicating with the authority. We answered every mail, but they kept us completely, in the dark. In fact, even the day before, we received an email from one of the councillors saying, like Mill Road was not on the agenda. And the same answer was given to the Cambridge Independent. And then all of a sudden, the news came out. They were going to close the bridge. So Ian Bates told us the request from the bridge closure was submitted by our local authority. So, and then we receive a promise to submit some comments to because we told them we already started taking petitions, and we had a chance to submit the survey by the traders. We told them exactly how many people once. I mean, I think that we carried about 170 business. we had on a list 176. So 170 business responded to us in writing, confirming, like how many people wants the bridge closed, how many people wants the bridge open. I can only tell you, only 8 business all across Mill Road wants the bridge closed. Only the 20% was like uncertain, and the rest clearly, they want the bridge open. Now we submit all this information, we enter the information to the meeting, to the officer, to the EM base. They couldn't accept it by hand, but they took a picture because they found all the excuse of the COVID-19. So what we done, we send the format in digital to them, so they got it. We copied in all the county councillors, all the city councillors, everybody. We haven't received one single response or acknowledgement from a local authority. No one.
But there was a process, wasn't there? That they implemented it, and whether people liked it or not, it had been implemented, and then people were to submit their comments before the 6 months was up, and then there was a chance to amend things. So there seems to be mixed messages from yourself or yourselves and Dave Bajan over this, are the numbers. So it's difficult to know what's right and what's wrong, really.
Well, I mean, we worked with our local authority with the year before also with the bridge closure because of the work they were doing, the railways and et cetera, et cetera. And I thought we had how can I say, a friendship with our local authority. We worked quite well with Linda Jones, for an example, and I even, even if I was not convinced about the parklet from Dave, I still gave a support, just in a goodwill. I mean, we lost the trust in our local authority. It was sad the way they played us. I mean, they ignored the trader survey, because at the end of the day, the authority, they only count the vote from the residents.
Well, and, how do you know that?
Well, because at the end of the day, some of the traders don't live on Mill Road, so the authority, they only pay attention to the residents. So we don't count for them, honestly. I mean, look, even we prepared the petition, the petition we submitted, to the policy and regulation. I mean, it's been absolutely ridiculous, the last petition, because we warned the authority, mentioned about the survey was a problem because of a number of reasons. We got approved. We got emails exchanged with the authority, and they replied to us saying, our system is good. Any double, the system will be able to flash if people are trying to enter more than once, it will pick up only once. I say, okay. So once they reassured us, I said, okay, we will comply with the survey. And we done. Meantime, Shapur, the chair, he was picking up some manual survey from residents from Petersfield and Romsey, especially like elderly people, which they don't use much computers. Some of them, they walk to the shop. So I think he got the manual survey was about 879. Then we had the digital one, the survey we done the traders on the change.org, which was a free petition, which they joined together. Because one was from originally started from Jerry Bird, because she was trying to give under the Equality Act, trying to support the disabled to give access to this bridge. The second one from the taxi, because the taxi, they have the same license like the bus, like the public transport, and they were not allowed to cross the bridge, and the traders. So we joined together with a free petition. However, some rumors, some voices, they believe we joined the free petition in a one big number. Well, this information is completely incorrect, because when you join the petition together, the change.org gave us, said they joined the petition together, they gave a certificate, automatically they've removed every double emails. So the number, the digital petition we entered, it was exactly 4,123. And the manual petition was 879. So it took us really like a long time to upload all those information to policy and regulation. But all those petitions are in alphabetic order. So you can clearly, you got certification from change.org that they're all genuine. And second, you can see if they can check, they're all alphabetic. So there is no double. So Mill Road Traders delivered to the county 5,002 petitions. And all of a sudden, from the county press release twice, they only mentioned about 3,500.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And nobody, and again, one more time, when we enter all those petitions, we copied in all the councillors, from every party, not just the one party, every party. So I think altogether, we got about 26 people. They lost it. They lost the petition. And because they say that when we enter that, thanks God, we received the confirmation from the policy and regulation. So the confirmation that they receive it. However, because they had a problem with the system, and we sent exactly 6 emails, the system was treating, let's say, 1,000 petition under one petition.
Well, there seems to be a lot of facts here that are different from both quarters, doesn't there? I mean, I'm not saying who's right or wrong, but there's definitely great disagreement over what should be facts. And as it stands at the moment, the county council, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, are now considering the information of the feedback and have admitted that the qualitative aspect of it rather than the quantitative thing will still stand, and they will assess that, and then they will come out with a decision of some sort after 12 months. Is this as it stands at the moment? So the bridge is set to be still closed to all traffic except buses and bicycles until the 12 months on, so until August, was it implemented?
Yeah, June.
The Democratic Member Service got in touch with me, and finally they acknowledged the petition they found the petition and they acknowledged it. So it's no longer 3,500. We got 5,000 more on top. But because we got the election coming up, because maybe some of the council they are stepping down, there is no even point to mention about it. But just for the record, the county has 8,500 petitions there.
Can I just add to that, Piros, that I know you don't like mentioning names, but Dave Bajan has been publicly announcing over Twitter, over social media, about him going, he's gone to 50% of Romsey residents, and overwhelmingly the response is they want the bridge closed, and yet he has no stats for that figure, and yet he completely ignores every figure that we give him regarding the residents' surveys, the traders' surveys. He just says, don't know nothing about that. And yet he spills out what to anybody that listens, which is, is bad that he's getting away with doing that because he's got no stats. So, I just think it's unfair that he's actually allowed to do that, to say, that he thinks that the majority of residents are in favour of the closure, when I was one of the people that went round and door knocked with another resident, and the majority of the people said although they liked the Mill Road closure, they didn't think it was fair that traders are losing money. So they voted on our questionnaire to open Mill Road Bridge. So we've got, it's, you know, documented names, people, but they have no stats at all. It's just word of mouth.
The question that I understood was initially, retrospectively, once the closure of the bridge had been implemented, there was to be a review, timely review, after 3 months, after 6 months, and so on. None of those have taken place, although in our meeting in September with Ian Bates and the rest of the officers, we were promised that this would happen. For whatever reason, it hasn't happened. And I think that was a question that John was asking. And I think it is indicative of what is happening and how we feel we've been mistreated, because we are being told one thing, but in actual fact, other things are happening. There may be mitigating circumstances. However, one, the promises aren't being kept. Two, they're not being communicated properly.
I just want to add a few things because I'm the candidate for the city council for the Romsey, and I never want to be in politics. Conservative. So Tories.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Go on.
So never been in politics before, and honest being to you, I never want to be. Only the reason I got into the politics because of this reason, what we are facing at the moment on the Mill Road in Romsey. And I've been honest being to you, I've been a big supporter of Labour before. My in-laws, big supporter of Labour. But what we have gone through in the Mill Road, I don't think is fair for the people living in Romsey or in Petersfield as well, and with the traders. I spoke to a daily basis to the people around because I've been living long enough in Romsey. I talked to the people a lot. And I spoke to the traders as well. Meanwhile, when we go for the local shoppings and everything, as one of the councillors mentioned that they had a chat with the traders regarding, are they happy? And they said the business is going well so far. They haven't got affected because of the bridge closure. That was totally false. And I spoke to a few people, which he mentioned the names, like Havers, the shop on the Mill Road, which being placed by the Kailash, being taken over from the Kailash. So he never mentioned to him that he's happy with the closure. And that was, he said, I can back you up on this. And we never mentioned that to him. He never came and spoke to us. So I feel like it's a wrong thing going out because of the social media. Says whatever we want to say, we can just get away with it. He needs to speak to the people in the local residents. There are a lot of residents which are not happy with the closures. We are struggling. As example, if my wife, I want to get a cab, we pay extra money to go around because we have to go around the big way to go to the city center. We are paying extra amount of money, which is not fair. And that's why I think is like he need to understand in the point of view, people who can't afford in the COVID time, we have to support the local people, and which we are not. And I think so he needs to understand the traders as well. These are bringing the business and getting the employments as well. There are a lot of people losing a job because of business are shutting down. There are a lot of empty units still there. And which is why they're not getting it, because there is no business, especially because of that. There's at the night time, there's a lot of drugs use on Romsey, and there are a lot of crime happening on Romsey. Nothing has been done because there's no movement at the night time. After 7 o'clock is a ghost town. You can't even see a people walking on the Romsey because my wife don't feel comfortable walking at 8 o'clock after 8 o'clock because it's so dark. There's nothing being done because before there was movements from the bridge. You can see the people coming and going. There was nothing much. I feel safe. Now I don't feel safe because my wife said at the night time, you can see the people in the corners having the drugs, drink. What's going on? Being a local councillor, you should be looking into this before you make a decisions. There's no cameras in Romsey. So I feel like we need to do something. And that's why I have to step in myself because I've been a member of traders and I said, let me do something. I know I'm not a person who wants to be in politics, but I don't have a choice and I have to get involved and help the people.
Okay.
The bridge did not work as any preventative of COVID. It did not work. So why is it being extended another 6 months, 12 months? It just is bad faith and manipulation. It didn't work. It doesn't work. The build outs don't work.
We have to look at this problem in a, I don't know
Sorry.
how, we have to go deep into it to see why they decided to close the bridge, who was behind it, and what associations were backing this decision. From beginning, I know there were lots of cycling campaign, they were backing up, and still they are backing up that decision. But not, we are going to, I mean, the lockdown is going to be over soon, and all that is going to happen. Do we want that bridge closed forever, or what it is, or do we want it back open again? And the other thing is, two people cannot make decision to close the bridge. We have to know who is behind those people that they make the decision. And this is the most important thing, is because at the moment, traders and all the residents of Romsey and Petersfield, whatever we've done, we haven't managed to get into it. We said, look, we are saying we don't want this bridge closed. And every time we are saying anything to them, oh, we are listening to you, we are listening to you. And that's what we get from them. And sometimes we just get here this message, oh, majority, they want to close it. Where are the majorities? They are not, that is not true at all. I think there is something hidden in agenda which we are not aware of it, and we are delaying this decision making until there is no way that we can keep it open. So that's why Mr. Muhammad and we are trying to we are trying to get in the county, city, find out what's happening, get the truth out. Otherwise, fighting with people which they don't want to give you answer, you're not going to get anything. Is it right to hurt people by trying to do something which is not going to benefit anybody? This is the most important thing. All the traders.
I think, regardless of what happens, from our meeting in September with the county councillors and the officers, we were reassured that whatever happens, this is a temporary closure, and at the end of the period, it needs to be removed. And if there was to be a closure, they need to start from point zero. So therefore, consultation, etc. need to take place. So whatever we are talking about right now has to be taken in light of that.
Okay,
I think you will find that the minutes from that meeting would verify what I've just said.
Is that true that that would be ending in December, though, that they've got up until December to do that?
That's the worst scenario.
Yeah. I mean, but at the bottom line is the only people this is hurting is the traders, the residents, not to mention discriminating against disabled and the elderly that have to take taxi fares double the amount. That's discriminating against all parties.
So if in the meantime, if taxi drivers and the disabled people were able to use the bridge, would you consider that to be a sort of compromise whilst it's still in place?
Yes, but they won't do that because it costs them money.
We even consider the option to make a main road one way, for example. But unfortunately, the stagecoach told the county if main road becomes one way, they will refuse to come to main road. I mean, it's John, it's a real shame. I mean, Mill Road has such a great community, and with this situation, with this, especially the bridge matter, divided all of us.
Yeah,
really.
The communication.
It never been like this, Mill Road. Never been.
Never.
I mean, as I said, I'm supporting the greener Mill Road with that, but I mean, I understand we have to do something to stop to fry this planet, but I mean, give us a plan, count us in, we know the dynamic of the street, like better than the authority, because we are working on that street every single day. We know the time of the rush hour. The time when you're going to go in, when you go out. We know all about the street. We know from the residents, the drug dealer, and the good and bad people.
Well, it seems that communication's been bad, and there's a muddle over what's actually going on in different versions, and it doesn't sound very good overall. Does anyone else want to add anything?
I think one of the most important things to remember a pinnacle of the events on Mill Road, something that everyone celebrates greatly. And in fact, a lot of people take a lot of pride in is the Mill Road Winter Fair. The Mill Road Winter Fair was started, and I was a founding member, to unite all parts of Mill Road, to make it one street, to make it one community, and to showcase what Mill Road has to offer. This division of the closure of Mill Road is creating different communities. And I don't like that, because I think Mill Road is one community. Moreover, you know, we were talking about discrimination in terms of disabled and so on. Well, if I want to go to the mosque on the other side and I am disabled or elderly, for instance, Mr. Hakim, who lives on this side of the bridge, wants to go to the mosque on the other side, well, for him to walk there is almost impossible because he's a diabetic, he's a renal patient. And for him to drive around takes him 45 minutes. That'd be unfair, I think. So not only does it discriminate against elderly people and disabled people, it also religiously discriminates against people who may want to worship. I only mentioned the mosque, but it could be the church at St. Philip's. And there is a lady on one side, on this side of the bridge, who wants to go on the other side, and she has to go all the way around because her taxi or her vehicle is not able to do so.
One of the arguments is that, I mean, there has to be some sort of compromise, because it would seem, because the traffic on Mill Road was increasing, and that there are a lot of houses that are very, very close to the road itself. And so there does seem to need to be some mechanism by which traffic overall can be reduced gradually. Now, whether this happens naturally through electrical vehicles coming in, you know, because that's one way where it obviously would lessen the harmful effects. The closure of the bridge is pretty drastic, and that's, you know, it seems to have gone one extreme to the other, but there needs to be a lot more communication between the three bodies, four bodies: the traders, the residents, the city council and the county council, which, and the communication between them all doesn't seem to be working at the moment.
Well, let's face it, the Mill Road Bridge closure in COVID times has had little effect on traffic movement, really. However, let's say COVID was not here, all we'll be doing is dissipating traffic. I see it firsthand on Newmarket Road roundabout, where the issues from the retail park and the congestion that occurs because of that retail park involves carbon emissions all the way through to Mitchum's Corner. And living in that corner myself now, not Mitchum's Corner, Newmarket Road corner, I get all the emissions. The traffic's not mine. Now, by closing off Mill Road, you're just adding to it. So you're moving the cause somewhere else. And I think that's unfair.
Well, this
discussion needs to be had. It needs to be had holistically. And it is important that we come up with a strategy which looks at public transport and everything else, which helps towards aiding our environment. And we must work towards aiding our environment. I've been an environmentalist for most of my life. However, I don't think closing Mill Road Bridge is the right mechanism. It's a sledgehammer to crack a nut.
Yeah, I mean, the argument was, and I don't know how true this is, but the argument was that traffic disappeared, so to speak. It wasn't all displaced elsewhere, during the 2019 bridge closure. During
But John, the final example of that is Newmarket Road closed at the moment, is now going down Coldham's Lane, which is back to back. So that's just that didn't disappear. It's there.
Right.
I mean, can I say something? I mean, how many people in this state shop online? Everybody. Well, if I just said everybody, I'm online. Okay, and the question is we've been penalized quite a lot because most of the traffic are deliveries, like from many companies like Amazon or whatever, the Royal Mail or any these people, and another percentage, we used to have more traffic in the past from the council depot, which is Ironwork. You know, all the vehicle from the city, the county, they used to be parked over there. And also we used to have Travis Perkins, which no longer is going to go. The council depot is gone. So where the traffic is going to come from? So this is the whole point. I mean, we have to also educate people, yes, to, you know, shop locally, not online, because, you know, you're harming the environmental. This is the message we're gonna give to the public, not just penalizing the motorists.
Right. I just wanted to ask people whether, according to Dave Bagent, who's a member of the GCP, how Mill Road is going to become a route way, and it's going to be directing people from the railway station to walk down the road onto Mill Road. Is it?
That is, I mean, when I heard that,
Did you know about this? Were you
No,
consulted
I-
about this? Anyone?
I watched the video, and then when he said people coming from the station, if you're a total stranger, if they want to go to city center, they come this way. Come on, people, they walk straight towards the city center, not to come towards Mill Road and up. And I just don't know where he got those ideas of whoever comes out of the station to get for day trip or whatever it is. For them, the first thing is they want to go to Catholic church. Then they want to go to the other side. They're not going to walk into the Mill Road. The football is not going to be high at all.
I mean, if traffic control was an issue,
Mhm.
the way in which the traffic has been organized from the station heads down Tennyson Road, straight down Mill Road, both for taxis as well as for people who are using the station. Now, if the county council was sincere, or the city council was sincere about managing traffic and making sure the Mill Road did not have the traffic, well, they wouldn't have organized it in that manner. At the moment, all traffic is encouraged to go down Tennyson Road onto Mill Road. So there are a lot of low-hanging fruit that could be organized and rearranged before you start, you know, using the sledgehammer as they have in this case.
John,
Okay.
can I say, like, do you know how many shops Mill Road has on Mill Road Traders has on database? 176. 176 shops. Now, to justify such a number on the street means Petersfield and Romsey, they're not only capable to supply Romsey and Petersfield, you know, like the traders, they can supply all Cambridge. So if the bridge closed completely, we're going to lose a good percentage of the shop, because, you know, there's not going to be enough work for all those shops. And that's what we are experiencing already.
I don't think I've got anything else to ask you, unless there's any other points, but we'll put this out and people will get
Can I say
hear it
something
from
finally? Yes.
your point of view. And
It's one road, one community. You cannot divide the community. It's a
One road, one community.
Yes, that is our one motto. From top of Mill Road all the way to the bottom of Mill Road is one road.